You can watch the best parts of this series at MedCircle.com. What would you tell the person listening to this who would say, yeah, but back in my day, we didn't have any of this depression or anxiety. You just sucked it up and dealt with it and moved on with your life.
Yeah, and that's sort of, unfortunately, how I was raised, and a lot of us were raised. I think, we have to remember something, and this actually makes me feel old by saying this. Remember when your parents or grandparents used to be like, when I was a kid, right? Well, I can't relate to children now because I didn't grow up in the age of internet. I didn't grow up in the age of social media. It was a completely different environment.
Thank goodness.
It was very different, right? But now we're seeing this tremendous increase in mood disorders. And I want to say something that's really, really important. It's not just about the lack of resilience of the child, which may play a part into this, because people are saying the children are just less resilient, they're weaker, right? They're more susceptible to mood disorders because of that. That certainly may be a part, because parents are doing a lot more for their kids and sheltering them in a major way. But when you look at history and the challenging times in history, the Great Depression, World War II, the Vietnam era, the tumultuous 60s and 70s, financial crises, the Cold War, the rates of depression were not higher than they are now. So my point is that there's something going on now with our children that is increasing depression. And one is social media, one is parenting styles. But if you look at history, people did deal with some difficult things, but there was not a noted increase in suicidality or depression. It was a fascinating statistic.
So I'm not understanding this 100%. So when something devastating happens like the Depression in 1929, there was not there wasn't an increase in children who were depressed.
Correct.
But now, aren't we seeing an increase of children who are depressed?
That's the point. We're seeing an increase in children that are depressed now. So there's almost this, I think that's difficult for parents to say, well, why do they have it so tough? What's going on? Back in the day, we dealt with X, Y, and Z. I walked to school in the snow uphill both ways, and I wasn't depressed. Why is my child depressed now? The point is, we can't relate to what they're dealing with now, and it's a very different landscape and a very different environment that they're dealing with. And I sincerely believe that it has a lot to do with the lack of social interaction, interpersonal social interaction, free play. Parenting styles have changed dramatically where they're overprotective of their kids. The landscape is different now, and we have to remember that as parents. We can't compare to our generation, and that's my point.
It's a really good point. That's a really good point. I've noticed, and I'm 32 and I have no children, but I have noticed that children today almost can't look at an adult in the eye because 90% of their communication is via text.
Right.
And so they don't develop what we're doing right here. Right. And I get that part of it is because they're a kid, but I think if you compared a 13-year-old from today to a 13-year-old 40 or 50 years ago, they would have very different skill sets when it comes to interpersonal communication.
Agreed, you're absolutely right. Interpersonal communication skills have certainly decreased. And when we look at the overall picture of why kids are displaying mood disorders, we sort of implicate a lot of that to it.
So when I was a child and I was exhibiting signs like screaming and yelling if I had even a little bit of stress, schoolwork would send me into a tizzy because I wanted it to be perfect. I remember being very violent to myself, hitting myself in the face. And then I've shared that story where I went one time and grabbed a knife and my mom knocked it out of my hand. Those are really, to me, clear signs that this kid is depressed. And I've had a great childhood. I think my parents were like, what? What do we do? It looks, we've given you everything and we thought we did a good job raising you. And you did, Mom and Dad. That's clear, we need to go see a doctor. So they took me to go see a doctor and that changed everything for the better. But are there signs before your kid's running to go grab a knife that you should take them to go see a doctor?
Yeah, I wonder, if you think back to your childhood, Kyle, I wonder if you can identify those things. I wonder if you had parents that were really paying attention, that started to notice potentially that you started to not enjoy things as much, that maybe you were a little bit more isolated, that I wonder, did your sleep habits change a little? Did your eating habits change? Were your energy levels changing? I really wonder if some of those signs really started to come out before you went and grabbed the knife, or before you started to be so sort of internally preoccupied with your angst. And I'm pretty sure that there probably were some signs.
Probably. You know, I'll share this other story because it might help parents at home. I remember we started seeing a therapist, and even at the age of 8 or 9, whenever this was, my mom sat me down to show me this article, and I remember thinking, oh, this is what the therapist told her to do, you know. And the article was about a child my age who had no arms or legs. And the child had to roll whenever to go wherever the kid wanted to go. And her attempt was to show it to me, to show me that I don't have it bad, because I'm not rolling around. I have both my arms, both my legs. But instead I took that as, well, now I feel so guilty for behaving this way, because you're right. I recognize that I don't have it that bad, and I still feel like my life is not worth living. And I remember just blowing up because I was so guilty for feeling this way.
Right. And it makes a lot of sense. And I think that we need to look at statistics now, despite, I should say, of what we know from when we were kids and previous generations. We need to put that aside. And we need to look at the statistics and the dangers that are increasing, because this is black and white. Increased suicide rates, we know. Increased self-injury, we know. Increased severe depression, we know. Increased productivity in life, we know, in children right now. So forget about that stoic mentality of when we were kids. Just get over it. And we have to address it. I don't care what our ego tells us.
Thanks for watching. Your next step is to go to MedCircle.com and finish watching this series. There you can also access other series and get actionable advice and simple explanations. Continue your mental health journey at MedCircle.com, and I'll see you there.